Have you ever wondered why you can't seem to find a boyfriend no matter what you do? It might feel like bad luck, but there could be deeper reasons at play, reasons rooted in dark psychology. Today, we're diving into some subtle, unconscious tactics that could be holding you back from finding a meaningful connection. Let's start with a common dark psychology tactic, self-sabotage. Self-sabotage happens when you unconsciously undermine your own success. This could manifest in your dating life in surprising ways. For example, do you find yourself canceling dates last minute? Or maybe you start acting distant when things start getting serious. These behaviors often stem from fear of rejection. You might not even realize it, but you could be preemptively sabotaging potential relationships because you expect to get hurt. This pattern is often linked to attachment anxiety, a psychological state where you crave connection but are constantly worried about being abandoned. So to protect yourself, you push people away before they get a chance to hurt you. Next up, we have the false consensus effect, a cognitive bias that makes you overestimate how much others think and behave like you. This can create misunderstandings in your dating life. Let's say you assume that the person you're interested in isn't ready for a relationship because you're not hearing from them as often as you expect. In reality, they might be waiting for you to make the first move. This assumption could stop you from pursuing a connection, even though the other person might be just as interested. The false consensus effect creates a dangerous cycle, one where you miss opportunities because you assume everyone thinks like you. Now let's talk about decision paralysis. In today's dating world, especially with the rise of dating apps, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the sheer number of potential partners. This is a classic example of the paradox of choice, where having too many options makes it harder to settle on any one person. You might find yourself constantly comparing one date to the next, thinking, maybe there's someone better out there. This indecision keeps you in a perpetual state of waiting, where you never commit to anyone because you're afraid of making the wrong choice. But the truth is, this endless search for perfection could be the very thing preventing you from finding a meaningful connection. Have you ever been on a date and felt a wall between you and the other person? This could be a sign of emotional detachment. Emotional detachment is a defense mechanism where you unconsciously shield yourself from vulnerability. In dark psychology, this behavior is often linked to an avoidant attachment style, where you avoid intimacy because it feels too risky. This can make it difficult to truly connect with someone, even when you want to. You might keep people at arm's length without even realizing it, fearing that letting them in will lead to emotional pain. The problem? It also prevents you from experiencing genuine love and connection. Let's dig a little deeper into attachment psychology and talk about fear of abandonment. If you have a fear of abandonment, you might be unconsciously testing your partner to see if they'll leave. This could involve creating drama, acting aloof, or even picking fights to see how they'll respond. The idea is simple. You're trying to confirm your worst fears, that they'll leave you. This paradoxical behavior pushes people away, but it often comes from a place of deep insecurity. It's a classic example of an insecure attachment style, where you fear being left behind so much that you create scenarios where abandonment feels inevitable. And the result? You end up creating the very situation you fear most, being alone. Another dark psychology concept that could be impacting your love life is low self-worth. If deep down you don't believe you're worthy of love, you might unconsciously choose partners who reinforce this belief. You could be drawn to emotionally unavailable people or toxic relationships because they mirror how you feel about yourself. This pattern creates a self-fulfilling prophecy where your low self-esteem attracts partners who treat you in ways that confirm your negative self-beliefs. Breaking this cycle requires not only recognizing these patterns, but actively working to change how you see yourself and what you deserve in a relationship. So how do we break free from these dark psychology tactics? First, awareness is key. Understanding these patterns in your behavior is the first step toward change. Once you see how self-sabotage, false consensus, decision paralysis, emotional detachment, fear of abandonment, and low self-worth operate in your life, you can start making different choices. Working on your self-esteem, practicing vulnerability, and challenging your assumptions about relationships can open the door to genuine connections. It's about recognizing that love requires taking risks, being willing to be seen, to be vulnerable, and to trust that you are worthy of love. These dark psychology tactics might be affecting you more than you think, but with self-awareness and intentional actions, you can break free from these patterns and find the love you deserve. So, what do you think? Are any of these holding you back from finding a boyfriend? Let's talk about it in the comments.
Thank you for listening. We hope you've enjoyed the story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell button, and we'll notify you when the next story comes out.